Welcome to the Bob and Katie Show Christmas special, where we're going to talk about Christmas and Santa Claus and traditions.
All things Christmas.
So get ready, we're going to get it started so you're not late for that fat man to slide his butt down your chimney. So, let's get it started. Miss Katie, are you ready for Christmas?
Absolutely.
So, what do you remember from your childhood? What was that one gift or Christmas that stands out in your mind?
Probably whenever I was in 3rd grade, Christmas that year, we got a Nintendo. And I say we because it was for me, my brother, and my sister to share, which was a cruel joke because Nintendo only has 2 controllers, only 2 people can play at a time. So there were many, many, many arguments over whose turn it was, who was going to be Mario and who was going to be Luigi because it came with Super Mario Brothers.
Did it come with Duck Hunt?
Of course it did.
But you only got one gun.
Yeah, you only got one gun.
So did you figure out that you could control the ducks with a controller?
What?
You could play 2 players. Yeah.
I think you just blew my mind.
So when you play Duck Hunt, if you got one person that has the gun.
Shut your face.
You could take that controller and fly the ducks around. You could steer the ducks. Did you not know that?
What the damn hell?
Oh
my life.
Okay, so
you just ruined my childhood.
$45. We're gonna go buy a Nintendo, get Duck Hunt, and I'm gonna show you how that works.
How can you just bring this kind of information on me in the middle of us recording this podcast?
How did you have a Nintendo for 10 years and not know you could do that?
I don't know. Thought I knew all those nifty secrets of the Nintendo realm.
So, we put a post out on Facebook asking people to tell us about bad gifts. And we had a couple people private message us, and we really didn't get enough information to, form a show around. So I started playing around on Google, and,
Did you get your mom's permission to tell her story about her really crazy gift that she got a few years ago?
I didn't, and I don't know that she'll listen to it. But I don't really know the story that well. Do you know the story?
I believe I remember how it goes.
All right, tell me the story.
Well, your family, they do the thing where everybody exchanges, the small gifts. Like dollar store stuff. Fun little stuff. And they were exchanging their gifts, and your grandma, so that would be your mom's mother-in-law, gave her what she thought was a small bottle of lotion, like hand lotion. But it indeed was not lotion. It was a bottle of KY. And everybody, when your mom opened it, everybody knew what it was. Except your grandma. Like I said, your grandma thought it was lotion.
And she didn't know everybody was laughing.
So, how embarrassing. And I hope your mom doesn't mind us telling this story. I hope she really does not mind.
So, I don't know if you know this or not, but that very same Christmas, I can't remember who got it, but they were passing around the little gifts, and somebody got Rusty, or Wayne one, I think it was Rusty, a flashlight that ran off of a battery that you would charge by shaking it really fast. So it all kind of played in together. For those of you with your minds in the gutter, it looked exactly the way that you're thinking. Just a funny situation.
So if you have any crazy Christmas stories, any of you who may be listening to this, any wildly inappropriate gifts like KY from your mother-in-law, please write us on our Facebook page because we would still love to hear it. If you don't mind sharing your story with us, we would love to hear it.
Yeah, just post on our Facebook and share our Facebook page. Get our names out there. So, anyways, we ended up coming up with a list of popular gifts by decade, and I had a lot of fun reading it, so I thought we would talk about that. But while I was doing this research, I found a couple of odd things that I thought I would share. And Katie has no idea of the stuff that I'm about to go through.
No prior knowledge at all. I have no idea.
The reactions that you hear from her, 100% legitimate. So here we go. First of all, in Peru, on on Christmas Day, people fight each other. Fist fights.
Oh, wow.
So, it's a big...
You know what? I bet there's fist fights going on Christmas Day here. You get people's crazy family members together all under one roof, you know.
It's
a little too much eggnog.
It sounds crazy, but like when I read it, I was like, it kind of makes sense. So what they would do is you're supposed to take that person that, you know, maybe something happened that year and you've had these hard feelings and grudges are just carrying on. You get in an arena and just beat the crap out of each other. And then afterwards, to bring in the new year, you go with that person out to have drinks and to start your year over.
You know, that makes really good sense. Because, you know what? Let's just lay the cards out on the table. Let's settle our differences right now on Christmas. And that way we can start our new year fresh with no grievances. You know, I think that's... It's wild, but I mean, you know, I see the logic behind it.
So you got somebody you want to beat the crap out of on Christmas Day?
No, not specifically.
Nobody I want to...
Not at this moment.
Nobody I want to say on the podcast, but maybe once we stop recording, I'll tell you. How about this one? In Japan, it is a huge tradition to have Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas. Not just fried chicken, but Kentucky Fried KFC red and white striped bucket chicken on Christmas.
I mean, this may sound small-minded, but I honestly didn't know they had KFC in Japan. So I never would have guessed that that's how they celebrate Christmas, was by eating some KFC.
You didn't think they had KFC in Japan?
I don't know. I guess I never thought about it.
You know everything comes from over there, right? It's why wouldn't they have it there?
No, I get it. The thought has never crossed my mind. Like, hey, do they have KFC over in Japan? I've never thought about it. You know, never been to Japan, so.
So they place their orders up to 2 months in advance
for Christmas.
KFC chicken.
Well, I guess if everybody eats KFC on Christmas Day, they need some advance orders. Make sure they got plenty of chicken.
So good. I love KFC.
I do too. Why not eat KFC on Christmas?
But yeah, during the month of December, they sell 5 times as much chicken as any other month of the year. So craziness.
I never would have guessed.
Check this out. Some top selling gifts that aren't on the list, but just things that sell a lot. Fundies. You ever heard of that?
I don't even know what that is.
That is a pair of underwear for 2 people to wear together.
Oh my gosh.
It is exactly what it sounds. So I pulled a picture of this stuff up. And
oh my gosh.
It looks like whitey tighties.
With like 4 leg holes?
No. 2 leg holes. It looks like a pair of whitey tighties, but they're big. And you're supposed to slide into it with your significant other. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like...
I have no desire to wear fundies with you. I'm sorry.
Wait. You couldn't possibly be comfortable wearing these things and trying to do anything. I mean, I don't know.
No, like the only thing I could see those being good for is like, you know how like you do the 3-legged race? Like, you know, that's something like that.
So, another top selling gift, which is nowhere near as fun as fundies. Picnic baskets are selling really well this year. So, I guess when it gets warm, we're all going to start going on picnics.
You got me a picnic basket. Oh, that wasn't for Christmas. That was my birthday.
Yeah, and we used that picnic basket. And we had KFC when
but,
we used
it. We sure did. The very first time, we sure did.
It wasn't on Christmas. It was in July.
But yeah.
It was Christmas in July. It was like a Japanese July Christmas. It was
not. My birthday is in June.
We didn't go on the picnic
went
on your birthday, did we?
Yes, we did. And it was raining. I remember.
A whole bunch of Frozen stuff is being sold this year from that movie.
I'm not at all surprised by that.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Every little girl is going to get something
my gosh,
Frozen.
So much Frozen stuff. The big Disney Frozen product that's being sold is the Loom Band set. I guess that's the
little rubber bands
to make your own bracelet set, Frozen edition.
I know that. Yeah, those are really popular.
And the last one from 2014, personalized Nutella jars. So you could order Nutella with and make a
What?
personal inscription on it. Pretty crazy, right?
Man, you can get anything on the internet these days.
I don't like Nutella. I don't know, it's weird.
It's delicious. What's wrong
I
with
don't
you?
know. I don't think it's delicious. But I don't know. Who am I, you know?
Yeah, you
So-
don't even like chocolate. You're an odd duck.
Thank God, because I would weigh 400 pounds if I liked chocolate and soda and all that other stuff. But, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some presents from the decades. We're going to start really, really early. Tell me what your thoughts are. The 1910s.
Wow, you're going way back.
Way back. The Rockin' Horse. Big seller back in the 1910s. I get it.
All right.
Fire,
I mean, did you really have that much to choose from? I mean, the
Probably not.
1910s
No, rocking chairs. Fireworks was another big one.
as Christmas gifts?
Yep. You ready for this one? Nuts. Not like a person's, but like the kind you eat.
Obviously.
Big seller in the 1910s. 1920s. This is a good one. The radio flyer made its big, huge debut.
I had one of those. Not in the 1920s, but yeah, I had one of those.
The wheels were so big when they first came out. Like, it's not like the radio flyers you buy from Toys R Us nowadays. Got the little tiny training wheel size. Wheels were actually pretty big. Rugged, heavy things that would rust, and I mean, just radio flyer.
They made things to last back then.
Absolutely, they did.
It's the freaking Great Depression. Your toys had to last. It's not like you got new toys all the time.
The Joy Buzzer was another from the 1920s.
What is that?
That's the ring that you would wear on your hand and shake somebody's
Oh.
hand, and it would shock them.
All right.
So, and I'm sure it was a little dangerous to some extent. I don't know. Maybe not.
Like, did they give them to kids?
I probably.
Or is that
not.
like like an adult thing?
The
Kids just going
yo-yo?
around shocking each other? Yo-yos.
The yo-yo was another big one in the 1920s. Did you ever have any yo-yos growing up?
Of course.
I had yo-yos. I have yo-yos now.
Yeah, you.
I do
yeah.
love the yo-yo. 1930s. The Red Ryder BB gun. Big seller in the 1930s. Did everybody think it just now? You shoot your eye out, kid. That's what they did in the 1930s. They shot their eyes out. The Red Ryder BB gun. The sock monkey. Did you ever have one of those?
You know, I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I don't remember having one.
I didn't have one, but for some weird reason they keep popping up.
They're still popular.
Yeah,
And well, now they have, they're not the traditional, like, what was it, like brown, like the heather brown fabric. They, you can get them all kinds of colors and different animals.
I saw a stocking made out of a...
They're still
Sock
really popular.
monkeys.
It's amazing to me, the toys that are still popular now.
Army men. The little green army men. 1930s. That's where they made their big up and at 'em debut. So, I've got a bag full of those back there in
Yeah.
the room, too. 1940s. Here we go. That's when the Legos started pushing.
Really? I didn't know Legos were that old.
The most wanted toy of 1949, and it never lost popularity. It is now the most valuable toy company, worth over $14.6 billion.
That's incredible. Those little tiny things that you step on and it kills your feet.
The Magic 8 Ball.
That's from the 1940s?
Yep, I got one of those right now too. Mine is the Lemony Snicket's edition.
Mm-hmm.
The Slinky.
I don't know if you should be admitting how many of these toys you actually
You know what?
own.
I don't even care.
You're such a man-child.
Yeah, it's not embarrassing to me. I think it's more embarrassing to you that you're married to me and I got all these toys. So the Slinky, that was fun. 1950s, the Barbie. Did you have Barbies?
I loved Barbies.
You guys should have just seen the twinkle in her eye.
I was definitely a Barbie fan growing up.
I didn't have any Barbies. I don't know. I don't have any Barbies now.
That's probably good. That's probably a good thing. Whenever I got to high school, I had a Barbie doll head that had like singed hair and marker on his face and put on my antenna for my car. Do you remember
Yes.
that? Okay, sorry. Okay, continue.
The Fisher-Price Little People. I used to have
I
some of
had
these.
some of those. In fact, My sister got some of those for Christmas one year. I was like 3 or 4. So my sister was, just a baby. And she got some of those for Christmas. And I got I remember doing this. I went underneath the Christmas tree to the back. I crawled under there. And I opened up her present. And it was Little People.
Oh my gosh, Little People.
I opened it up. And I think I sat back there and played with them.
For anybody that doesn't know what these are, they look like little Wii characters from the game. The Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, they do.
They look just like little Wii characters. What are they called? Wii people? I don't know.
Is it called? Are they called Me?
Me's?
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've used the Wii.
Somebody Facebook us and let us know what those characters are called. And then also from the 1950s, Mr. Potato Head.
I definitely had one of those growing up.
One-Eyed Bart.
I think I had Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head.
Really?
I loved Mr. Potato Head.
I didn't have a Mr. Potato Head. I just got my first Mr. Potato Head not too long ago, right?
Well, oh, that's really sad. Like, that was
He's
one of
still in
my
the box,
favorite toys at, that age. I was maybe 4 or 5.
I'm not going to take him out. Maybe one day when the kids get a little older, we'll take him out and play with him. 1960s, The Etch and Sketch. Let me tell you what, if there was anything I could do, was make a dang flight of stairs.
On an Etch-a-Sketch?
Oh, yeah. Do.
And once you figured out how to do that, you thought you were like the Etch-a-Sketch master.
I can make all kinds of stairs. The Easy Bake Oven.
Stairs for days. I had an Easy Bake Oven growing up.
Weren't those dangerous? I mean, I didn't have one, but it didn't. It seems like that was.
I mean, it's a little oven, yeah. I mean, it's definitely one of those things you're supposed to have adult supervision.
It probably got dangerous when you started sticking things in there that weren't supposed to get in that oven.
See, I never did that. I only baked the little cakes. They weren't very good, but
I don't know. It just seems dangerous. The G.I. Joe, 1960s. I did have a G.I. Joe.
I didn't have G.I. Joes.
I didn't have like a collection.
My brother may have had. I think my brother may have had G.I. Joes.
I wasn't huge into it. I saw the cartoons a little bit.
I watched the cartoons.
Never really got into it. But, the G.I. Joes. Don't have anything against them. It was just something that I never really got into. I think around that, when I was young, I remember the Raisins.
The California Raisins.
California Raisins. I don't know what made me think about that, but I remember the Raisins.
Yeah, what connected G.I. Joe to California Raisins in your brain? I have no idea.
I think I had a set of them around the same time that I got the G.I. Joe figure.
Yeah.
I don't know, because they were not to scale. You couldn't play with them together because the Raisins were like 1.5 inches tall, 2 inches. And the G.I. Joe was like 7 to 9 inches. I don't know exactly what size. 1970s, the Rubik's Cube. Did you ever watch the cartoon?
There was a Rubik's Cube cartoon?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Forgive me, 1984-ish. Ran for one season, I think. Obviously, it was reruns and stuff.
So you weren't even born in 1984.
Okay, so it basically was like there was this evil magician type of guy that had this Rubik's Cube that was alive. It had a face and stuff, and he got away. And then he started hanging out with some kids, and like.
That sounds like fun.
So that
that sounds so weird.
Oh yeah, it was horrible.
Somebody in the 70s was
trying to sell
tripping and playing with some Rubik's Cubes when that got created.
So he was the main villain, the original wizard or magician or whatever. But when he got with the kids, they would face just everyday problems every now and then. And the funny thing was, it was really easy for him to get scrambled. So, like, if they dropped him, his colors would change, and then he wouldn't be real. And the kid would have to sit down and, like, match all the colors. No, if
that stuff was real, them kids would never have no chance of getting him back, because you cannot put a Rubik's Cube back together. I mean, I know it can be done, but I sure as heck never have been able to.
Michael Bell was one of the voices in the Rubik's Cube. I think that might have been the reason that I looked it up a while back. He was in a whole bunch of stuff. Scooby-Doo. He was like quite a few characters on the Rugrats. Just his whole career is just doing voices in cartoons, so that's probably how I got into that. And moving on. The Nerf ball. So, a lot of parents thought, hey, our kids will be safe playing with this thing. You ever got hit with a soaking wet Nerf ball?
Yeah, those things are
Oh my
so
God.
heavy.
It goes from like 1 ounce to 7 pounds in just one dip of water. I mean, I got hit in the head one of those one time. It is no joke. And then the 1970s, and it's not giving me a date, but I think it's going to be around 77, the Star Wars action figures. And those are still...
Well, that's a given, yeah.
Those are still alive and kicking today. What are you looking at the clock for? If we go over 30 minutes, we go over 30 minutes. It don't matter. It's Christmas time. 1980s. Cabbage Patch Kids.
Oh, I did love a Cabbage Patch Kid. I thought I had a Cabbage Patch Kid whenever I was little. And
You thought you had a Cabbage Patch Kid?
No, I did have a Cabbage Patch Kid. And I thought that it was... I don't know if if this is one of those mom things, like my mom told me, or if I just had it in my mind, my little, like, 4-year-old mind. But I thought this Cabbage Patch doll was made specifically for me because she looked like me. She had brown hair like me, she had blue eyes, and she had a dimple on the side of her chin in the same spot that I have one. So I thought this doll was made specifically for me, and it looked like me, and I loved her so much.
Wow.
I love that doll.
I'm not judging you. I have absolutely no room to judge you, but that's really nice.
I'm kind of sad I don't know what happened to her.
Also, in the 1980s, Teddy Ruxpin. Did you have one?
Teddy Ruxpin.
Did you have? Yeah. Did you have one?
I did not, but I had friends that had one, and I was so jealous.
I think I had the same way. I think I had a friend that had one, and he let me borrow it.
Yeah, I remember playing with one, but I never had one, and I thought they were so cool. I wanted one so bad.
Transformers. That got big.
Yes, I loved Transformers whenever I was little.
Look at you, huh?
I did.
These movies took a nosedive, didn't they? Oh, I didn't even watch the last one. Not that bad.
I don't think we watched the last two.
I'm huge into it.
Yeah, I loved Transformers whenever I was a kid.
Oh, man, it was bad. 1990s. One of the biggest ones. Tickle Me Elmo.
I remember that. I mean, I was too old to have, for the Tickle Me Elmo. I didn't want one. But I remember just the craziness around it. I remember, seeing on the news people getting trampled on, Black Friday or whatever, trying to get these Tickle Me Elmo dolls.
All right, so you remember all that?
Yes.
Do you remember the people reselling them? That went in and would buy them and then resell them?
I don't know. I don't really remember.
So this was 1990. I don't have a date.
I don't know.
Mid 90s, early 90s.
Yeah, I was. 90s. Yeah, I probably was somewhere between 10 and 12.
So you would go buy this doll, and the suggested retail price was $28.99, which was, that's pretty pricey for back in the 90s. These people were buying them and then immediately turn around and reselling them for $1,500.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that crazy?
No, the crazy part is that people would pay that much to get a Tickle Me Elmo.
I don't know this, but you could probably get a Tickle Me Elmo doll on eBay right now for $10. Maybe it's not true. I don't know. And this was a big one: the Super Soaker.
I don't know. I mean, I remember Super Soakers, but I don't really remember the craziness.
Oh my gosh, it was delightful. I love the Super Soaker. I got one for a birthday one year, and my dad made me think I wasn't going to get it because I found it. I went into his bedroom for, what was I going to? Oh, I was playing hide and seek with somebody, and there was some couch cushions in his room. I don't even remember what those couch cushions were for, but I walked over, and my thought was, I'm going to hide behind this cushion. And I moved the cushion, and there was this big old huge, assault rifle size Super Soaker, and my birthday was the next day. Oh my gosh. And then, I told him I found it.
I remember my brother having Super Soaker water guns. That was the fun of having a little brother, because I got to play with those fun, boy toys. Like Legos.
Oh gosh, I love some
and
Legos.
Hot Wheels and things like that.
I hope we get our kids into Legos. They're going to be into Legos. The other big one, Furby.
I remember that. I never had one. Like I said, I was to the age where I was like, I'm too old for that. But I do remember the hype.
There was lots of fluffy animals being sold in the 90s. And as most of you know, the 2000s is going to get pretty typical. The Wii. Bratz was a big sale.
I remember when Bratz were popular.
And maybe I say everybody knows because it was just, it's what's happening. The Razor scooter, you remember that phase? Like, everybody had to have that little tiny scooter with the tiny skateboard wheels on it.
Once again, not something I ever had, but I remember it being popular.
Leap pad. Leapfrog, all that kind of stuff got real big. And the Furby boom happened again.
That's so weird.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not just the Furbies, but, like, there's lots of things that are, like, coming back that I'm really surprised about.
And I think this is recent. The robotic puppy. Did you ever see the picture of that on the commercials, the robotic puppy that you drag along?
I have a couple different ones in mind, and I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about.
It's a little robotic puppy. I mean, I'm not going to go into more details than that. It's a puppy that walks.
Okay, good enough. Moving on.
Then it's got a collar. Then you've got Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. You've got the PlayStation 4 now, which is selling for ungodly amounts of money. And if anybody has one laying around, I'll give you my address.
You need to stop.
Lots of fun things on this list. I enjoyed this.
Brought
list
back some memories.
quite a bit. It makes me want to go play with some of my toys, and they're in boxes, so I can't. My yo-yos aren't in boxes. I can play with my yo-yos, but I need to go to bed. So anything, I don't know, just the Nintendo, was that your big thing you remember from growing up?
That was probably one of my most exciting things that I mean, just really stand out in my mind. I was so ecstatic about.
That didn't stand out to me a whole bunch. I remember when I got it, but I had so many game systems growing up. We had the Nintendo, we had the Sega, the Atari, the Super Nintendo. I had the Dreamcast at some point. Just so much. But what really stands out from my childhood is this little porcelain dog that you put money in. It was the cutest little dog. And
Little piggy bank?
Yep. Huge, though. It was, you guys can't see what I'm doing with my hands right now, but it was like the size of a normal dog. Like, just a big thing, and I dropped it one day and broke it, and I was heartbroken.
Oh, that's so sad.
Heartbroken. And, every time I go to these places where I see, like, these porcelain animals, I always look around to see if I...
Did you ever have one of those gigantic crayon piggy banks?
I didn't, but they sell them at the Dollar Tree now.
Yeah, those things are still around.
Yeah, people are buying them. I don't know. There's a Batman pig at Walmart.
Oh, you can get piggy banks that are anything nowadays. You got me an owl piggy bank last year for Christmas.
I got you so much owl stuff. So.
I actually have more than one owl piggy bank.
So, this is our first Christmas with kids. Are you excited?
I'm beyond excited.
They're not going to remember a thing.
I know, they're only 3.5 months, so they don't really know what's going on, but I know what's going on, and I'm so excited.
They're sleeping through the night. We're going to wake them up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm sure, on Christmas morning. Maybe we won't. Maybe we get up and spend the first half hour to hour by ourselves and open some
Sounds like a good idea to me.
I'll let you look in the stocking. She laughed because I made a sexy wink at her. But, I don't know. I love Christmas time. I'm glad that it's here. And I'll be glad when it's gone. So.
Oh, don't be such a Grinch.
I'm not a Grinch. I'm just saying I like the holiday, but I'll be less stressed out once it's over.
I know. I think becoming a parent, it made Christmas time it's flown by so fast, because I think, anybody at Christmas time, you have so much that you want to do to enjoy the holiday season. But, as a parent, there's those extra things that you do with kids, and you try to cram it all in, and you already, Christmas, we start, oh my God, it starts like the day after Halloween now. It's like we completely skip over Thanksgiving, and it still just doesn't seem like enough time with kids. And our kids are so young, so we didn't even do like the going to see Santa Claus just because they're so tiny and, can't be having them out in public too much because they're premature. But
So next year, by Christmas, we'll have we'll have a house. We live in an apartment now. We're going to have a house. So we're going to have a real tree, right?
I hope so.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Peter, tomorrow's Christmas Eve and you still haven't gotten us a tree.
So excited. We're going
Oh,
to get a
you
tree.
just couldn't resist.
I couldn't resist. I guess that's about it, huh?
I guess so.
Anything else you want to talk about? Any more Christmas cheers? Any more Christmas thoughts?
Oh, I don't know. I love Christmas time.
As of right now, everybody that's listening is family and friends, and we just want you guys to know, have a happy and Merry Christmas. We're not saying Happy Holidays because we're not celebrating. We're celebrating Christmas. So Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, when you see me, you tell me whatever it is you want to tell me, and I'll say it back because I don't have any beef with anybody. You say Happy Hanukkah to me, I'll tell you Happy Hanukkah right back. But just go out there and spend time with your family and just remember what it's all about.
Merry Christmas, y'all.